On the freezing morning of November 2nd, 1944, at the Brandis Airfield, a scene of high stakes, experimentation unfolded as Lieutenant Gunter Andreas prepared to pilot the most dangerous and technologically radical machine of the era, the Messerschmitt Me 163 Komet, a revolutionary rocket-powered interceptor fueled by a highly volatile and toxic mixture of C-stuff and T-stuff that could literally dissolve human flesh upon contact, making every single takeoff a terrifying gamble with instant incineration. As the HWK-509 rocket engine ignited with an earth-shaking, deafening roar, Andreas was slammed back into his seat by immense G-forces. Watching his airspeed indicator flicker past 400, then 500, and finally nearing 600 miles per hour in a near-vertical climb that defied the laws of traditional aviation, leaving the ground behind in a thick trail of white chemical vapor as he soared toward the stratosphere to intercept a massive Allied armada. High above, the German sky was darkened by a 1,000-plane raid, a silver carpet of destruction consisting of 900 B-17 flying fortresses guarded by 1,100 P-51 Mustang escorts, creating an aerial fortress that seemed impenetrable. Andreas leveled out his small, tailless aircraft at 30,000 feet, acutely aware that he possessed only 7 minutes of powered flight before his engine would cut out, leaving him as a vulnerable heavy glider in a sky filled with thousands of enemy machine guns. With the target in sight, he initiated a high-speed dive, the air screaming against his canopy as he plummeted toward the bomber stream, his twin 30 million Malawian Quach's 108 cannons barking, heavy explosive shells that tore through the aluminum wings of a B-17. Though the incredible closing speed meant he had only a 2-second window to strike before zooming past his target like a ghost in the clouds. As Andreas pulled up for a second daring vertical pass from below, the chaotic reality of air combat struck home when a B-17 ball turret gunner, demonstrating nerves of steel, tracked the blurred shape of the Komet and unleashed a lethal stream of .50 caliber tracers that shattered Andreas's canopy and punctured his primary fuel tank, showering the cockpit with shards of glass and the pungent, terrifying smell of leaking oxidant. Now wounded and losing power, Andreas plunged into a desperate dive to escape, but he was instantly spotted by Captain Fred Glover of the 336th Squadron, whose P-51 Mustang, nicknamed the Spook, banked hard to pursue the stricken rocket plane in a high-stakes chase where the Mustang's Merlin engine screamed at full throttle to keep pace with the gliding Komet. Glover's machine guns raked the Me-163, igniting the residual fuel vapors into a bright orange flame that licked the edges of the cockpit, while Andreas struggled frantically against a jammed canopy, the immense air pressure at high speed pinning the glass shut as he smelled his aircraft beginning to disintegrate around him. Nearby, the tragedy deepened as his wingman, Jacob Bolenrath, engaged in a final, fatal dance with Captain Louis Norley's Mustang, which shredded the Komet's tail section and sent it into an unrecoverable, spinning dive toward the Earth. In a final, Herculean effort, Andreas managed to pull the nose of his burning plane upward to bleed off, enough airspeed for the canopy to finally fly off, allowing him to be sucked out of the cockpit into the freezing slipstream, where his parachute finally opened. As he drifted silently back to Earth, he watched the horrific explosion of his friend's aircraft on the ground below, a somber reminder that even the most futuristic technology could not overcome the overwhelming numbers and tactical grit of the Allied forces in the final, desperate days of the war. As the echoes of this legendary aerial duel fade into history, we invite you to join our journey through the world of military tactics and untold stories. If you enjoyed this detailed breakdown, please subscribe to our channel, ForceStrategy, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a mission. Thank you for watching Force Strategy, and we will see you in the next one.